hello, Milwaukee, or in my case, hello from Milwaukee. I'm not here to talk about this town's beer culture, although I wish I was. I'm here to talk and learn about politics here because regardless of whether or not you live in Wisconsin, this is a state you need to be paying attention to this midterm. First off, I need to give you a quick refresher about where things stand. Remember, this November is all about control of Congress. In the House, every seat is up. In the Senate, 35 seats are up. Right now, Democrats control both chambers. Republicans think they can flip both. You're going to hear a lot about flipping Senate seats over the next couple weeks. Republicans think these Senate seats, currently held by Democrats, can be flipped. States like Georgia, Arizona, New Hampshire, Nevada, and even Colorado are considered in play. Meanwhile, Democrats think seats held by Republicans in Pennsylvania, Ohio, here in Wisconsin, North Carolina, and even Florida could be flipped in their favor. Those are the states you're really going to want to watch this midterm. But I want to put a word on the screen real quick. Unusual. This election is getting hard to predict by many because of how unusual so many of the candidates are. Take, for instance, the Republican nominees for Senate in Arizona, Georgia, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. They've never held office before. A bit unusual. In Pennsylvania, the Republican candidate, Mehmet Oz, is a former national talk show host. In Georgia, the Republican candidate, Herschel Walker, is a former NFL running back. How big of a role does being a celebrity play? Health is also playing an unusually large role this election. In Pennsylvania, what's unusual isn't the fact the Democratic nominee for Senate loves campaigning in hoodies, it's his health. John Fetterman had a stroke in May and has held few campaign events since then. His campaign says he's fine, but will voters care? And then there is the unusual topics people are paying attention to. The economy and the current president always matter in midterms, but abortion hasn't played such a critical role for decades. A former president hasn't mattered in a midterm like this since Nixon in the 70s. Not to mention, it's a bit unusual how engaged voters are this election.
People tend not to be this engaged this early in midterms. It's unusual in that way, too.
I recently spoke with Michael Wagner with the Elections Center at the University of Wisconsin. He says young people here and in other key states are registered to vote in higher numbers than normal for a midterm.
Younger voters seem to be more engaged than is typical.
In Milwaukee, I'm Joe St. George.